Hi YouTube, welcome back to my channel. I've been meaning to do this video for ages really, and it's probably a bit late in the day to do it because the Lisa Eldridge foundation launch was literally months ago, and I guess all those who were particularly looking forward to the launch will have either moved on or they've decided whether to buy or not. But there may be a few of you who are in the market for a foundation now and considering the options. So I thought I would do it before I went away on holiday. I was just trying to clear up various things in my box of goodies that I had meant to film and haven't filmed. So you will know if you've watched this channel that I am a fan of Lisa Eldridge. Certainly as a makeup artist, I think she's fantastic, and she doesn't really release so many videos now, but there's certainly her back catalogue on YouTube and on her website of many videos showing application of makeup for various looks. And although she's a she uses models, but she also uses herself very often. And although she's clearly a very beautiful woman to begin with, so the application of makeup isn't going to make all the difference in the world. I think you can see when she does it that, you know, she really does. And she has some really great tips, I think, for all sorts of women. So I'm a huge fan of her as a makeup artist. I love her jewellery collection as well, although I don't have any of her gorgeous rings. Again, if you watch her, you'll know that she features particularly rings. She wears these multicoloured gemstone rings on her fingers and has done for years. And now she has her own range. They're quite pricey because they're gemstones. I don't think they're particularly overpriced for what they are, but they're kind of out of my budget at the moment, but they're gorgeous. So I'm a fan of those. And I like her lipsticks very much. I think for the price point, which isn't cheap, but it's not up there with the super lipsticks, as it were. She has some really good formulas, particularly her equivalent of the matte formula is very nice indeed. So I'm a fan of those. She's also dropped various other products over the last 2 years, and well, yeah, I'm two and fourth on them. But I was very excited about the foundation because she's always kind of emphasized in her videos the importance of good skin prep, but also good foundation. So I thought Lisa's going to be the one for a good product range. And I think it's not a secret because I have spoken about it at the time. I'm really not a huge fan. And I've really kind of battled with this. I got the test cards that she produced, which was a really good idea, so that if you were buying online, and most people have to buy Lisa Eldridge online, I don't think she has any dedicated shops. She did for a period of time have a pop-up in Covent Garden. I can't remember if I actually bought this at the pop-up. I might have done, but I certainly remember testing for the colour, and I thought that number 4 would be my colour from the testing cards, and it turned out to be. And I'd had the tester, and I didn't love the tester, and I went to the pop-up with my friend Laura Martin, who's got a YouTube channel as well, and I had such a couple of nice sales assistant makeup artists in the pop-up who couldn't have been nicer. The guy in particular spent ages with me, basically said the reason I hadn't got a very good result with the tester that I'd had was because of the condition of my skin, which I was totally, I like to tell myself I've got good skin. I think I have got good skin for my age, but I hadn't taken good care of it during lockdown. He spent ages kind of discussing exfoliation in particular and how to prep my skin better. Because the real issue for me with foundations is will it accentuate the enlarged pores I've got around my nose and chin area, which is also the area where I've got discoloration. I've got a tiny bit on my cheeks, but not much. So those are the two problem areas. You know, the rest of my skin is not exactly looking dewy and youthful anymore because of my age, but it's not bad. But I find that a lot of foundation products just actually show up the pores, some more than others. And this foundation, for some reason, in the tester was really, really sitting in the pores. Anyway, he buffed and exfoliated and cleansed and buffed and exfoliated and moisturized and then applied the foundation, and it looked okay. It didn't sit in the pores. So I bought it. But even though I am trying a bit more diligently than I did in the past to prep my skin, and particularly using a glycolic cleanser, which was practically every day, and in the morning, which was one of his tips. This thing is still sitting in the pores. The other issue I have is it's quite drying, I think. It's a strange formulation. It's a strange package, I have to say. I mean, Lisa loves these vintage packagings, which I'm all for, but this one, if you don't put the lid exactly right, it doesn't sit very well. It's not going to stand up. It's going to have to lie on its side. I just don't get it, really. So that wasn't a good start. The colour matching was quite good for me, and it doesn't look it so much there. It looks very yellowy, but you can see as it goes into the skin. It's a good match, and particularly for kind of toning down any hint of rosiness. But can you see, even on the back of my hand, it's a bit kind of dry looking. It's definitely a fairly matte foundation, although I don't think it was described as matte. There's no glow to it at all, and you can buy a glow product. And I think she has touted that there will be a specific priming product which may make the application a bit better. But I've tried this with a variety of primers that I have, good, bad, and indifferent. And you really have to work hard to make this foundation look seamless on the skin, really, which is kind of what I expect. So, yeah, I wouldn't really recommend this foundation, although it got a lot of good reviews. I think there have been some negative ones, but yeah, overall big disappointment, and kind of shocked really that it isn't better than it is. Lisa worked for years for Chanel, and they do, I think, the best range of foundations of, the big houses. I'm not saying there aren't good foundations elsewhere, there are, and I know a lot of people swear by Estee Lauder, which I've really never used, and by Dior, which I have used. I haven't personally found a great Dior foundation, but I haven't tried all of them. And I know a lot of people like Armani as well. I haven't got on with them. But Chanel, I would recommend, hands down. Now, the other thing that she brought out around the same time, maybe just before, was a series of these liquid eye shadows. And I was less hopeful about these because I don't by and large do very well with liquid eyeshadows. They just don't work brilliantly on me. I find them quite difficult to work with. If they're going to kind of stay put on the eyelid, they have to dry pretty quickly, which can make them quite difficult to blend and work with seamlessly. And if they're easy to work with and blend in, then I find that they often are of a formula that kind of melds away on my eyelids very quickly. So I was less expectant about these, and I wasn't overly impressed. I had two, in fact. I had, I think they're called names, I can't remember now. I had this black grey one, which I thought would be quite pretty, and on the demonstration it kind of sheared out to give a very easy, pretty, smoky eye, but not too smoky. And it does work like that, but you can see how quickly I had to shear out on the back of my hand. You really have to kind of move and do one eye at a time, which is a little awkward. I mean, obviously you do one eye at a time, but just putting the product on one eye, finishing that eye, and then going on to try and recreate the same on the other is what I mean. You can see there's a little bit of glitter. It's not too glittery, and that didn't shift about too much. So it's not a terrible product, but I can't remember how these fell on the kind of price point compared with similar products from like Laura Mercier and Armani, who definitely do them, and I think Charlotte Tilbury. I'm not sure actually. She maybe just does the little pots, which are a slightly different formulation, more cream than liquid. I also had a very pale one, which for some reason was very watery. That really didn't work at all. I actually threw that one out. So that was a disappointment as well. They're still up, I think, on the website. So, yeah, I thought I'd just let you know my thoughts. You know that I like the lipsticks. You know that I like Lisa Eldridge. Just don't care for these products. And I guess, that happens with all sorts of ranges. So I'd be interested to know. I know some of you tried the foundation with varying success. I don't know if any of you tried the liquid eyeshadows. She hasn't done any ordinary powder eyeshadows yet. And that will be interesting. She certainly seems to be concentrating on the lipsticks, which I think is a wise move because she's very strong in that area. Yeah, so there we go. Any thoughts? Very happy to read your comments, and I shall speak to you all again soon. Bye for now.